Hello everyone, welcome back to VLSI For All. I'm Neeraj Charyala, back with yet another interview. And this time, we probably have the most active and energetic person in the history of VLSI For All sessions. And it's Kritika Rampal. So
Thank you so
introducing her,
much, Neeraj.
yeah. So introducing her, she is the Senior Associate Design Engineer at Intel. Prior to joining Intel, she worked as a Senior Elect Design Engineer at Cypress Semiconductor Corporation. Now it is Infineon Technologies. She has worked there for 3 years. She has also got a master's degree in communications from BITS Pilani and a BTech degree in ECE from Punjab University. She is a LinkedIn Creator Accelerator Fellow, a STEM mentor, motivational speaker, and has got many years of experience in motivating others to pursue their field of passion. Thank you, Kritika, for joining us today. We're very glad to have you with us.
Sure, Neeraj, thank you for all those kind words. You make me sound that I've accomplished a lot. I have a lot to do in life. So thank you so much. So right now I'm employed with Intel
Yeah.
and I work in the capacity of Senior Associate Design Engineer. My specialty is in low power design. I have been working on that for 7.5 years now. And I am also a content creator on LinkedIn. And I love talking about semiconductors, how to build your career in VLSI. And right now, I'm also doing a weekly LinkedIn live series called ChipTales to help connect semiconductor leaders to to some to an audience similar to what you are catering right now. So VLSI students, young professionals, as well as VLSI enthusiasts. So come join, use the opportunity of connecting on ChipTales, talk with us. And yeah, I love talking to young students. I love talking to young professionals. I feel they have a lot of potential. And with all the opportunities that are there in VLSI world right now, and the opportunities that are going to come, I feel that we are at a very important point of conjecture. So I feel that VLSI as an industry can offer a lot of lucrative careers in terms of innovation, in terms of paycheck, in terms of adding a lot more value and satisfaction from work. So I'm a strong advocate of making career in VLSI. And also, please note that whatever opinions I'm sharing today in this session are my own personal opinions, and those are not the opinions of my employer or any of its subsidiaries.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Kritika. That was very comprehensive, and you made things clear about you for your audience, for our audience as well. So you are doing a lot on LinkedIn. You're a LinkedIn Creator Accelerator Fellow, and your LinkedIn profile is indeed blazing with 4,800 or close to 4,900 followers. So how did you able to manage to create such a follower base on LinkedIn?
Uh, I think I have a growing audience on LinkedIn, and I have a very warm and very energetic community. And my niche is semiconductors. I talk about semiconductors. So my community is predominantly semiconductors. They are leaders. They are people like me, you know, in the middle experience zone, or they're young professionals, or they're students. So we all are related to semiconductors, and we love talking about our insights about career building, about what all is going on technology front in general. We also like to talk about mindset, productivity, how to grow, and also it's a very young and very dynamic community, and it's growing because my journey started in Feb this year. So before that I was not that active. So in 6 months or now I have 5K or so followers, and I love interacting with them. They keep me charged. They make me want to come back again and talk more and more and more and help them out. So that is how it is growing. I don't know. I think people like the way I talk. People like what I'm putting out. So it's growing. And I'm very grateful for it.
Indeed, we are grateful for you for hosting, especially those fireside chats with some semiconductor leaders. I've been to some of your fireside chats, and they were very interesting. I got to know about many tips related to work in semiconductor industry and all. So coming to your LinkedIn Creator Accelerator program, so why did you aspire to be such a LinkedIn Creator Accelerator fellow, and when did all of this start?
Okay, sure. So LinkedIn Accelerator program is first of its kind program launched by LinkedIn. So the first cohort of 100 people was created in US last year, and this year the second session was done in India, where 200 uh, content creators from various walks of life. They can be talking about SaaS, they can be talking about public branding, personal branding, they can be talking about opportunities in sustainable development, diversity and inclusion, and the list goes on and on and on and on. So they tried to make a cohort of people who are passionate and actively creating content on various things that help you create a better career for yourself in India, and they brought those people together. And when I got to know about this opportunity, like it was in Feb this year, I had just started to taking content creator uh, cap seriously for me. I applied for it. Luckily for me, things worked out, and they liked the vision, they liked my motivation, they liked my voice, and they got me in that boat. And ever since, I'm so grateful. I've connected to, you know, best 199 content creators on LinkedIn right now. I have access to them, their learning, their support. Along with that, I also uh, get to know a lot from LinkedIn team itself. They are very helpful, they're very insightful, they're very knowledgeable. I keep learning from them. How can I up my game and contribute more to my vision? And there are some side perks too, like I got to meet Ankur Valviko, I got to meet Radhika Gupta. So like, it's fun, I love it. Like it's a beautiful space for me to be uh, having the opportunity to learn from, you know, giants in content creation space. And I'm very happy that, you know, through this learning, I'm able to add more value to semiconductor industry, to young students, to young professionals, to make a better career for themselves.
Yeah, so just out of curiosity, will this program be running next year as well by LinkedIn?
I'm not sure. I have not got this communication, but I'm happy to tell that this program right now has been launched in two more countries. I think one is UK and the other is, if I'm not wrong, Brazil. So I think they are testing this particular program in various countries, and based on their numbers, they are going to come back and see if this works for them or how this works for them. But they are excited about it. They are passionately exploring this vision in various demographic zones as well. So I hope this comes next year, because this this particular program adds so much value.
Yeah, it indeed adds a great value, especially for a field like semiconductor industry right now at this time. So you have a huge impact on semiconductor industry as a LinkedIn Creator Accelerator.
Yeah,
Thanks for
thank you.
taking the initiative from your side, Kritika.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm just happy that I can help.
Yeah. So coming to your fireside chat. So fireside chat, as you said, it is similar to what VLSI For All is doing, conducting sessions with the semiconductor leaders. So how did you get this idea, and like why did you want why did you want to start such a program, such a session?
Sure, absolutely. I think it started in pandemic when we all were, you know, stuck at home, and we were students or we were professionals, but we were just doing what we were asked. Whatever we were being told to do, we were doing that. There was no real networking. There was no connection. You, I really started missing that the talks that I used to do with all my senior managers, with all my leaders in office. I started missing those a lot. On the same lines, I actually mentor a lot of young employees in Intel as well. And when I started talking to them, I also realized that this problem actually amplifies at a younger level. That you have just joined a company and now you can't network. Now you know who is doing what. Now you know how can you grow in your career? You are not getting that proper feedback through all of the channels. Yes, there is a support from your manager. Yes, there is support from your team, but that is part of the process. That's not the complete process. So that was my primary motivation to do something like ChipTales, to give everybody access to the huge knowledge bank that is there with semiconductor leaders right now. And I'm very grateful that semiconductor leaders resonate with this vision. They come forward, they talk about it, they give you a time to semiconductor community. They are happy to do it. So it's actually two-way street. They also want to do it. They understand the importance of it, and students, they have a lot to learn from it. So I'm just a bridge. I'm through ChipTale, I'm just a bridge. I'm just connecting what I felt was missing because of pandemic. That's it.
Yeah, that was actually a very good thought from your side. The bridging between the leaders and also the students or the new joiners, especially. It's a problem for them initially, starting their career and being at home, not in the office. Yeah, that's very interesting. Coming to your journey, your own journey in semiconductor industry. So, as an senior associate design engineer at Intel, so how is it like to be an associate design engineer at Intel?
I think it's very rewarding in all the sense that one can think of for an employee. I'm grateful for the kind of work I'm able to do, the kind of impact I'm able to create through my work with my employer. I'm very grateful for it. I'm also grateful for the kind of initiatives that are being done in Intel right now. They resonate with my own personal belief system. So I strongly believe that we should be giving back to society. We should be helping others. We should be helping them grow in their careers. And I am a strong advocate of that. Together we can grow. There is never a linear growth. There is not never like only a single person can grow and all other lose. We can only win if we all win together. And I think this is strongly embedded in Intel's core belief, and this resonates with me on a very personal level. So I love that space. I love the kind of innovation challenges that I'm able to give. I love the technology I get to work on. I love the in general work culture that is out there. It's very open, it's very transparent, it's empathetic, it's understanding. uh, People are open to listening to your problems, and together you work to a solution, because everybody comes from a different point of view. How do we bridge that? So that culture is very prominent in my employer, and I love it.
Yeah, that's great. And especially we freshers, I mean, I'm actually a fresher. So we freshers
So
have some doubts related to huge companies like Intel. Intel is a very huge company, a very well established company. So some of us have these doubts that the work we do, is it very visible for us in the field, its application? So what's your thought on this?
okay, so I understand from where a, a relatively new person in the industry can feel this, because when you enter, right, you are actually making a transition from academic mindset to industry mindset. You were in a zone where you were more into, I have to learn these topics, I have to do this assignment, I have this test, that test, this is my teacher, I have to be in good books with the teacher, right? So that is an academic mindset, that how can I do more R&D, how can I find the next sparking idea and make a project or make a thesis out of it, right? Now industry, the game gets a bit tweaked. So in industry, yes, innovation is needed, but first you have to learn the rules of the game. So it's a new game, there are some rules to it. So you have to and you are starting from a blank page. People don't know what you have done in your college, who you are as a person. So now you are developing your personal brand, which will ultimately impact your professional brand. Who are you as a person? Are you somebody who can commit to goals? Are you somebody who can deliver high quality output on time? Are you somebody who is hungry to learn more? So that is why in the starting, when you join any team, the kind of work that you get is uh, more that get you to understand what is exactly happening in your team. So you won't get to work on a key problem that your manager is solving on day one, because he does not know you, but because he wants to know you, or she wants to know you, I'm sorry, he or she wants to know you, uh, they will expose you to the kind of work that is there in the team, which will give you a good understanding of what all is happening in the team. And meantime, he can see how much he can push you, pull you, make you grow, uh, so comes like that. So when you're doing that kind of work, because you're still learning to, matlab, you still have to learn the rules of the game, what is happening, how do people think. Let's say somebody who is 20 years into industry and somebody who is 5 years in the industry, the way they think are very different. The way they will perceive you is very different. Oh, so like saying, right? So your manager is a very experienced person. He knows, like, he would not waste a valuable uh, resources, time, and knowledge into solving a problem that is not important for that person. That is not important for your business unit. So don't worry about that. Concentrate on learning. Concentrate on learning the rule of the games. Like I said, concentrate on building your personal and professional brand. Concentrate on bringing building your credibility. Concentrate on learning on the job. Concentrate on building your network. Concentrate on grabbing as many opportunities as you can get to talk to senior people in your team. Network with them. uh, Try to catch them for tea or chai or coffee. If there are opportunities of speed mentoring in your company or business unit, grab them, talk to them. I believe that in 1 week, if you target that I'm going to connect with one person out of my daily job, that will help you a lot in your career, because you will get to learn more about what is happening, what kind of problems that senior person is solving, how does he think, what are his or her priorities. So concentrate on learning that, and sharpening your, making a mental model for yourself to succeed in career, rather than thinking, is the problem that I'm solving actually something that will create $10 million for the company? We don't know that. First, try to build your credibility. And once you do that, once you build knowledge as to what is happening across your company, what kind of key innovation or technology challenges they are working on, what kind of skill set, soft skills and technical skills I need going forward, that will make me become more relevant to the industry even after 20 years. Once you learn on those things, you can focus on next set of problems.
So from the answer that you have given just now, I understand that there are a lot of interesting things for freshers to do when they enter the industry. And especially the 1 week, one connection thing was interesting for me. Yeah, I guess that would help us understand the breadth of the company as a whole.
Yes,
That's working
definitely.
on it.
But I think sometimes one connection per week may be an overkill, one new connection per week. But you can still keep on connecting with your old connections. Tell them, okay, let's have coffee together. Let's go for a walk if you're in office. If you're not in office, just politely ask for their time. Hey, I just want to connect with you and learn from you, and talk to that person. When you talk to somebody who is senior to you in industries, there's so much to learn. I'm into 7.5 years right now. I am still, awestruck by the kind of mental models, the kind of thought processes they have, and how are they able to effectively manage their work life and personal life, and add value. Like, the kind of thought they bring when they're talking about innovation is mind blowing. So you get to learn a lot.
Yep, got it. So coming to your work at Intel. So as an associate design engineer working with Intel, what were the problems that your team was solving? I mean, what were the projects related to?
Sure. I think I'll answer that as a generic industry-wide question. So associate design engineer uh, is a profile that is very easily available in India from design perspective. What we generally do is in this profile across the industries, you integrate various logical models and create an SoC, which is a system on chip out of it. So based on various products that your particular company would be creating. So when you're doing this kind of work, you need to understand RTL. You need to understand how clocks interact with each other. You need to understand how do you code power aspects into that SoC, as well as how do you qualify it. And this particular process is very extensive on quality and speed, because you are the major team between backend and functional logic IP or functional logic block team. So with that, and also when I say that, I do not mean that it is just an integration job. There is a scope to code RTL even at SoC level. That may be in globals, in global clock. Global clock would be clocks that that drive the entire SoC, or let's say power or some other thing, or IOs, right? There are multiple things that are happening at SoC. So there is a good potential to learn from RTL. There is a good potential to qualify RTL quality, clocks understanding, power. You can also contribute on security feature. You can also contribute on the IOs. So there is a lot to learn in this front. So this front has a lot to learn. And I believe in design space, this is the most readily available profile. Like IP profiles are also there, and SoC is also there. For me, because I work at a very high pace, I like working on the SoC side.
So, can that be taken as a difference between associate design engineer and an IP design engineer? Or else, is there something more to say about the difference between these two roles from a design engineer's perspective?
Yeah, I believe the scope of work is more or less the same. You will still qualify your RTL, you will still understand the clock impact, you will still understand the power requirements. It's just that when you work at IP side, you learn it from a limited scope of that particular functional block. And when you work at SoC, you do that from the perspective of how the entire chip works. So that just comes down to at how much depth you are willing to go. So let's say you want you choose to become an IP engineer. So ultimately, when you go there, it is expected of you that you will understand the complete functionality of that particular block. So that can be a particular protocol, that can be a particular data path. So all requirements will come up. Now at SoC level, you will be required to understand more about how the entire infrastructure is working. What is the network that holds this particular block together? What are the use cases that are powering this particular chip, right? How does this interact at the package level? How does it interact at the system level? So the kind of complexities that will come with your job will vary. So as you decide what role you grow into.
So, from your answer, I can say that SOC design role is more interesting than an IP design role because it involves a lot of constraints and a lot of things while you're working upon it.
That's one's perspective. Let's say somebody says that I am excited about working on CPU. I want to contribute more on the core part or CPU part. Or let's say I want to work on on USB protocols. That is exciting for me. So that person can choose that path. If somebody says I want to learn more about package system, how physical design works, how certain blocks are interacting with each other, so SoC is a good place to start from. So it comes down to your personal liking.
Yeah, I totally understand about the role now. I guess audience would have got an understanding about SOC design right now. Thanks for that. And coming to low power design, I can see a lot of UPF terminology on your profile. So could you please share what UPF is to our audience?
Sure. So UPF is Unified Power Intent. It's a IEEE standard to code or write the power intent of a design. So if you're writing a logic intent of a block, you will use Verilog or VHDL, right? So UPF is what you use to write the power intent of that block. So so you can understand it like what all power rails will go in that block, what all power domains would be created, which block will be powered by what, when it will be on and off, and then when we go into that kind of complexity, that how data or certain blocks go on and off to save power, right? Then there are a lot more concepts of how do we make sure that metastability is not there, how do we show that, make sure that that electrically the signal integrity is not lost. So new design elements get into picture. Those design elements are also coded through UPF in the entire chip flow.
Okay. So are there any techniques under UPF itself, separate techniques? For example, we have techniques in DFT, like PIST and all. Are there any separate techniques under UPF?
I think UPF would actually fall under power management. So how a particular block or a chip is powering their managing their power. So when we talk about power, there are multiple techniques, right? You want to save power, do clock gating, clock the gate. You want to save power, work on a lower voltage, right? Reduce the voltage. Let's say it was 5, move to 3 volts, like something like that. Talking very abstractly. Don't hate me for saying 5 and 3. I know these kind of voltages are not there anymore. Okay, so so how do these and there is also one concept of power gating, that we completely turn off the light. So the best middle class families, what we do, have to save power, we turn off the light. No power, no bill. So these kind of strategies are there in the power management. So enable all these technologies from power intent perspective, completely electrical perspective is coded through UPF. But there would also be a controller that would manage how these things are happening, right? When do I clock gate? When do I power gate? So that comes in the domain of RTL. But electrically, how domains will interact, what will be the use cases, what kind of special elements like isolation cells, level shifters, etc. we have to add. That is plugged in through UPF in most of the flows.
Yeah, so that's a bit more comprehensive about UPF. Yeah. So coming to your journey with Intel again, you have been at Intel for 4.5 years now. So what are your tips to get into Intel, to crack Intel, especially for design engineer roles, for any freshers or even experienced candidates?
Sure. Let me try to answer that question. So I see a lot of people, talk to me about product company versus some service company versus startups, or I'm just fresh out of college, or I have been working in this industry for quite some time. I'm looking for a change. How do I prepare for my interview? So I think answers to everything goes back to basics. Be thorough with your basics. Understand how transistor design works. How digital design is done. FSMs, digital signal processing, if that is something that is relevant to your line of work. Be thorough. What is Fourier transforms? Be try to understand the analog side of it. Try to understand what are various protocols to which two systems can interact, various handshaking protocols. So there is a lot of a lot to the basics that are taught in our colleges right now, and not only colleges, like training institutes and various other platforms. All this information is readily available. So concentrates on the basics, be thorough with them. You are fresher or experienced, you want to go into product or service, whatever is your aim, always be thorough with your basics. have a good understanding of it, because the first requirement of for any job is technical knowledge, and people will test you on your technical knowledge. Now the next part of the problem, things will change. If you're fresh out of college, they will ask you more about your projects, your thesis, your anything that you have put on your resume. Let's say you write that my favorite subject is digital signal processing, right? Some people do that, and you may be asked more in-depth question about that, because you are claiming that to be your strength. So be prepared, like whatever is in your resume, be prepared that they will question you for that. And till what depth that question will go will be decided by your knowledge. So the interview will stop when you will stop. So that will determine how much you know. Are you a beginner, medium, advanced, or expert? Like in what level you actually fall into. Now for somebody who has experience, again going back to resume, what kind of work you have been doing, how did you add more value. So when we say we add more value, it's not just your technical work, it can be a lot of things. It can be soft skills, it can be innovation ability, a lot of things get into picture. So you have to really emphasize on how did you add value to your previous employer. Did you do innovations, did you drive patents, or did you help in improving on methodologies, or in general did you help somebody grow in their career with your knowledge? Did you mentor them, did you not mentor them? And let's say you come and you say that I'm expert of this particular thing. Let's say you say I'm expert of power. So you will be asked questions about power to understand where your ability lies. So the first is basics. They are always golden, they're always true. Second is whatever you put on your resume. And third thing is things that you don't really prepare for. That are your soft skills. That is what kind of personal brand you bring with you to the interview. You can't really fake it because people will see past it, what kind of person you are. So generally companies like people who have ability to work in team, who are honest and clear with their communication, um, these kind of abilities also. And attitude, I think this is one of the things Arpan said on ChipTales. He said that one of the key things he looks after technical skills is attitude. You should have attitude to learn. I don't think anybody expects you to know everything about the job while you're interviewing. They want to know, do you have how much basics do you know, and how much aptitude and attitude do you bring with you to the job. Are you willing to learn? Are you willing to understand it? Are you willing to learn, unlearn, and relearn? Because that is also a very important skill. So these kind of things they generally try to evaluate. You basically, you don't hire a skill set, you hire a person. So you try to become the complete package in that sense.
And these four things which I've said just now would help us get there.
Definitely. And one more thing is that I have given a lot of interviews to various top companies. I have taken a lot of interviews myself. One thing I would like to emphasize to your audience is, never be too afraid of going and giving an interview. You don't know what opportunity will come out from there. Just whenever you're giving an interview, just uh, realize this fact that the person who is taking your interview was sitting on the previous side of the table a few years back or sometime in his or her life. So they understand what you're feeling right now. Like even if you get scared while asking, even if they give you a problem to solve and you feel like, am I lost? Am I doing it fine? They generally, the idea is to check your check your knowledge and check that under pressure, if you're given the right hints. Like sometimes it happens, I can give some kind of digital question and that person is not able to solve the problem with the strategy that I would have used, but that is still a strategy that they think that they know about. So I will keep on questioning and trying to understand. So my idea is also to judge that let's say I give them a problem that they're not 100% sure about. How do they approach that problem? That is also a thing that helps you in interview, showing the attitude that if your interviewer gives you some hints, you set and try to solve the problem. That is also one thing. Concentrate on being your wholesome. Concentrate that the person sitting next to you who is interviewing you was there in your shoes some years back. So be calm, be composed, you know, uh, try to show your best skills, try to talk about the topics that you feel are your strength. Even if you are given problems that you are not 100% able to solve, it is okay to ask for help. It is okay to just highlight whatever like, I think this is a way to solve, I am also thinking something like this. It is fine, just exhibit what you would have done to, let's say, in your viva. Like, even if you don't know answer to a question, you will still say whatever you think you know about that thing, right? So just take it like that. Be normal, be chill.
Yeah, so that was very thought provoking. There were many things which you said. And since you said you also took some interviews, were those interviews for Intel?
I can't.
Okay, so since you have mentioned it, for our audience, if anyone has got Kritika as her interviewer, then she has talked about some of the things which she would see in the candidates.
Yeah, definitely. I always look for attitude to solve problem.
Yeah. Okay, that was cool. So coming to your transition from Cypress to Intel, so what were the things that you were considering when you were trying to transition in your same industry? And what are the things that should be kept in mind while transitioning from one company to other company in our industry, in our own domain?
Yeah, that's a very good question, Neeraj. Um, so let me start from very basics. Why do people change a company? So whenever you're thinking of a change, you have to be very mindful as to what you are looking for. Is it more salary? Because uh, it is a known fact, whenever you jump companies, you get a good bonus or a rise. Is your motivation money? Is your motivation that you want to do a certain kind of work uh, that opportunity was not presenting for you in the previous employer? Is this motivation just that uh, you want to explore the industry, you are relatively new to it, so you want to try, you want to explore what various companies have to offer? There are multiple factors for it, that why you will be motivated to do it. So if your motivation is that opportunity or the kind of work that you want to do, before considering a change, do have a very fair, open and logical discussion with your manager, that I'm feeling that this is something I want to do. Is it possible for me to do it here? Can you make things happen for me in this fashion? Or I want to explore something on this particular domain. I think that is very easy in having that kind of equation with your manager, that helps you, because you have been in that company for long, you have built your credibility. So with that credibility, new opportunities can open things for you. So try to have that candid conversation, explore uh, what opportunities or the kind of work that you want to do, can that be made available for you, and then take actions. If your motivation is money, then you are anyways playing a very different game. I can't really tell you how to do it. Then probably you will go to the employer that will give you the biggest, fattest paycheck. But what I have realized over, through my network, through my peers and all, that everything comes with its own what can I say? Hidden packages. Sometimes you'll have to think why that person is giving me much more than other companies. What kind of work would that be? So be very mindful of these things. If you're okay in doing that, take that call. There is no right or wrong answers as to why you should switch and why you should not switch. That is a personal choice. But always be more mindful of what is driving you. And if it's money, then most likely just a normal idea, right? What jobs will pay more money, so either it can be that you'll get to work on a very innovative technology edge, right? For you to get into these kind of teams or these kind of technologies, your knowledge has to be higher than an average engineer, right? So if that is the case, go for it. You are working on cutting edge technology and everything, right? um, if if it's not that, then maybe that particular uh, job role may require significant time and energy from you and may impact your work life balance. So this is all myth. I'm just speculating here. So be mindful as to what you're heading towards, and if that is something you are okay in doing. Work life balance is very important. That affects your physical and mental health. I'm a strong advocate of preserving it. I'm a strong advocate of having a balanced life, spending time with your family, friends, having hobbies. Just look at the books I have at my back. So I would always encourage people to look for a more sustainable work. Look for work that excites you, that helps you grow, that keeps you motivated to learn, and at the same time leaves you enough time to pursue other passions in life. Having a career in semiconductor is not a sprint, it's a marathon. You are in it for a long time, so better enjoy the journey. Don't try to pace through it. That extra percentage in your salary may end up affecting your relationships and your health, which may not be worth it in long term. So be very mindful. Just you know be mindful of what you are selecting. And there are a lot of people. Okay, there's one more point. So generally what happened with me was, I got two opportunities when I was looking for a change. So both of them had like the uh, equal they felt to me like they were equally exciting in terms of the kind of work I would be doing, in the kind of learning opportunities I got. And but the what I chose was the path that in the beginning would give me a lot of hardships. When I say hardships, I would mean there would be a very sharp curve of learning. It will require me to learn rapidly at a very high pace in a very short span of time. You know, I always choose these kind of paths on a personal front. I don't choose the path that seem easy right now and in future might be tougher for me. So I would, and I've always shared that with my mentees as well, and I would like to share with the audience as well. Whenever there are two equally good looking paths, choose the path that will give you more learning in the starting itself.
Yeah, that was very thoughtful again, and it really it does give a comprehensive understanding of how one should go about a change in their very own domain. So, coming to your journey with BITS for your master's degree, so how was your experience at BITS doing your communications master's?
So bits is magic. It really is. Like bits changed my life. And I'm very, very grateful, and I feel very privileged that I got to be with bits. I did my master's there. That 2 years of doing master's program in communication engineering changed my entire life. And I come from a tier two city, and I come from a middle class family, mother father working, and I did not have a lot of big brains growing up. All I knew was that I'm a geek. I love physics and I love math, and that's what I wanted to do. The same thing got me into electronics and communications in Punjab University. But after graduating, I felt that I need to learn more. I believe that there is much more to learn in this field, and that pushed me to explore opportunities in MTech in India. I I was not in a state of mind where I could think about pursuing masters out of country, but maybe I was a girl. I did not want to you know, go that far away from my family or whatever was my physical and mental block at that time. I chose to pursue masters in India, and which happened. And it has changed my entire life. People ask me, why do you always keep pushing people to do MTech? I do it because it helped me, and it helped me understand what actually semiconductors is. It gave me so much insights into it. I learned from one of the best professors in India. That is no small feat. The kind of projects I did, the kind of people I met. Now BITS is a hub of entrepreneurial mindset. Uh, BITS culture was very different to my tier 2 college, and like there is no mandatory attendance. You don't have to go to class for the heck of going to class. You come to class if you want to learn. That, and I gave my first open book exam there. Like I was just, भाई वो बोल रहे हैं, they are saying book लेके आ जाओ, तुम्हारा पेपर सॉल्व करके दिखा दो, मान जाएंगे. So that kind of challenges were not there in my tier 2 colleges. मेरे नहीं थे, आपके थे तो great, happy for you. But that just pushed me, to a new mindset. All these things, they pushed me into new mindset, and they helped me shape the career I have today. And they helped me, and this is one aspect of going to college, that you learn, you connect with best professors, you do uh, more innovative work, but you also make a lot of friends in this journey, people who are in the similar journey as you, people who will probably end up going in the same industry as you. The kind of friends I have made in BITS, I'm still very close to them. And even though we may not talk as much as we used to, but we are very close. And, they have helped me so much in my career, especially when I was looking for a job change. Your network plays a very important role for you to understand what is the actual culture of that team. So you can make a more mindful decision rather than going to a team that you know nothing about. You can make a more data driven thing. So having a network helps, and I am more close to my BITS clan than ever. So I that's why I always say, if you can, if your personal situation and financial situation permits, pursue MTech.
Yeah. So from what you've just said, I can understand that not just the technical depth that you would get with a master's degree, it's also about growing the network who has a similar aspirations as you, since you are pursuing the master's degree. Yeah,
Yes.
got it. And this Cyprus thing, was this a placement opportunity at BITS for you?
Yes. So I was placed from my campus into my first employer, which was Cyprus. Yes.
What is meant by the term elect design engineer? You are a senior elect design engineer at Cyprus before joining Intel.
So every company have their own titles and grade. I think your audience might be aware of that. So every company has their own terminologies for similar looking work, or how do they evaluate various grades. So in Intel, it's SoC design engineer, or IP design engineer, or firmware engineer. In Cyprus, it was elect design engineer.
Got it. So coming to the semiconductor industry right now, especially in India, it's growing at a very rapid pace, especially with India's semiconductor machine in place. So how would you see the industry grow in coming, let's say, 5 to 6 years in India? And also the job
Very
opportunities.
good question. That's a very good question. I'm very excited about Indian semiconductor mission. I'm also excited about a lot of initiatives that industry and other governments in the world are doing. I think all of this is going to amalgamate into creating a lot of exciting job opportunities for engineers. That engineer can be an electronics engineer, that engineer can be computer engineer, can be any kind of engineer. There would be a lot more uh, opportunities to work, opportunities to innovate, or opportunities to collaborate going forward. I also see the kind of work that a few companies are doing there. The startup ecosystem is going to get such a good boost with all the money that is there on table right now, with all the technology that is coming in the forefront. I see even the startup ecosystem is going to get a good boom globally. And I'm very excited about that. I feel this is an actual era of innovation where people have, where people, when I say people, I say industry, I say government, I say that people around me in my tier 2 city, they understand what semiconductor and chips are. It's a beautiful time to be in. Earlier when I started my career, I used to say I design chips, and I would always get this very lame joke: potato chips, banana chips. Now people know it's semiconductor chips. So chips means chips. So it's a huge jump we have taken, and I believe it's only going to get better going forward.
So, what do you think about the work that VLSI For All is doing? What's your opinion about us?
I think you are doing a marvelous job. Like, I think you are one of the pioneers in what you are doing. Industry has a lot of training institutes and all, but I think the value that you are bringing is marvelous. You're actually exposing your candidates to what industry look like prior to them really committing to that kind of career. That knowledge, when I started, was not there. That knowledge when we were there was not there. So all these initiatives help. And I also see that VLSI for you, sorry, edit this part. uh, I also see VLSI for All has a very one-on-one contact with their community, with your students. You provide a very personalized service. I feel that really makes the difference in India. I love what you are doing, and I believe that these kind of endeavors are going to get us more, specialized, more trained skill set into the industry.
Thank you so much, Kritika. And we are very grateful for you since you have taken part in our journey with this session. Thank you for those words. So,
Yeah, thank you for having me.
yeah. So, what suggestion would you give to Kritika when she is, when you look back 5 years, even 7 years ago, when she is starting out her career in VLSI industry? What are all the suggestions would you give her?
Sure. My suggestions would be very spiritual. Um, I think I was way too stressed as a student, as a young professional. I was, like, for lack of better term, I was in a survival mode. I was into that. How do I grow fast in my career? How do I make more money? How do I make a difference? How do I make an impact? How do I get a job? Like 7.5 years back when I was back in college, how do I crack my interview? So all these questions are important, but you should not be stressed about it. Like, there should be motivation for you to work towards them. There should be motivation for you to put your time, energy, and effort into building yourself, to cracking that interview, to getting that job, to understanding the concepts, to growing yourself as a leader. And I think when I was back then, I was kind of in a survival mode, that to do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. And that is not a good state to be in. Now, after in the hindsight, I feel that uh, if you're committed, if you're hardworking, if you're dedicated, and if you're working towards it, that thing is going to come in your life sooner or later. So don't stress about it. Enjoy the moment you are in. Enjoy that college time. Go to that tapri with your friends and have chai and maggie. Go and have go and watch a good movie with your friends. Go on that trip, that Leh Ladakh or Goa trip you have always been planning for, right? Enjoy time. The college time is never going to get back, and especially when you join your college. When you join your first job, you basically come with a big circle of friends, because all the people who have joined together in the first year of the employment, they end up becoming very good friends because they are in the same journey. Even though your profiles may be different, but you will be going to the same orientations. You will be part of the same clubs. You will be, part of the same TT team. Enjoy that time. Things will happen. Semiconductors is not a sprint, it's a marathon. Enjoy your time, have the time of your life, and don't worry. Just keep on working, stay committed, stay dedicated. Things will happen for you.
That was very interesting. And two words that I can say about this session are thought-provoking and knowledgeable, not just in terms of technical aspect, but in all the aspects that a person should consider. Thank you so much, Kritika, for joining us today, and thank you all for staying tuned for this session. And we'll be coming up with new interviews again. Thank you all. Bye.
Thank you, Neeraj. Thank you. I love talking to you. Looking forward to your comments. And
Yeah,
do follow me on LinkedIn for more updates from me.
yeah. Thank you so much, Kritika.
Thank you, Neeraj. Have a nice day.